A cold front will make a big change in tomorrow's temperatures, but will it bring any rain? We'll take a look in a few minutes.
Where were you 3 years ago? El Nino caused it. Now El Nino could bring a warmer winter.
No blank check for Afghanistan, says the president, but there will be new troop commitment.
There's still time to make the holiday season brighter for troops already overseas.
I'm Jordan Vandenberg live in Columbia, where nearly 3 months today, a jury found a mother guilty of killing her 2-year-old son. But tonight, prosecutors are looking at the father for the blame. KOMU 8 News at 10 starts right now.
From Studio 8A, coverage you can count on in high definition. This is KOMU 8 News at 10.
A Columbia man accused of murdering his own 2-year-old son has his day in court. Good evening, everyone. I'm Jim Reek.
And I'm Angie Bailey. Thanks for joining us. Horace Johnson is facing a second-degree murder charge in the death of his son, Cortez Johnson.
KOMU 8's Jordan Vandenberg joins us live from the Boone County Courthouse. Jordan, an exhausting day there for everyone?
Well, Jim and Angie, Judge Kevin Crane said it best. He said today was a long day and it was a draining day. Jury selection actually started early this morning in the Kansas City area, and after that, the jurors were shuttled here to Columbia and to the Boone County Courthouse. Horace Johnson is facing the same charge as Cortez Johnson's mother, Keonda Lumpkin. A Platte County jury found Lumpkin guilty back in September. She got a 24-year prison sentence. The 2-year-old died back in June of 2008, and medical records show the boy was severely malnourished, only weighed 22 pounds at 2 years of age, and had more than 200 individual cuts, burns, and bruises all over his body. But doctors said it wasn't any of those things that actually killed him. It was a severe blow to the back of the head. And both attorneys presented their opening arguments in court today. Prosecuting attorney Dan Knight called 2 witnesses to the witness stand, including Horace Johnson's younger sister. The defendant was visibly shaken and visibly agitated by their testimony. At one point screamed, "You're a liar." Judge Kevin Crane threatened to remove him from the court, and actually, to make matters worse, the defense attorney Stephen Weiss's car broke down all the way back to Columbia. Talk about a long day. The trial resumes tomorrow at 8:30 a.m. Reporting live in Columbia, Jordan Vandenberg, KOMU 8 News.
All right, Jordan, thank you very much.
Let's check in now with Dave. Definitely want to make sure you pack a coat along in the morning.
Yeah, because you're going to probably need it by the time you head home tomorrow evening. There's going to be that big of a change, I think, in the temperatures. Here's a look at live Doppler rate, first alert radar. That is sweeping clearly at this time. We still have quite a bit of cloud cover in central Missouri now, as clouds have been rolling into the area all day long. Increasing cloudiness, obviously, for the forecast tonight, and cool, but seasonally cool. We'll have a low temperature tomorrow morning at 36, and that may be a little warmer than we wind up the day tomorrow, as we're expecting a cold front to move through. The question is, will we have any winter weather? We'll have that information for you in just a couple of minutes on KOMU 8 News at 10.
We're in Afghanistan to prevent a cancer from once again spreading through that country.
No surprise to many tonight, the president explained the new U.S. troop commitment to Afghanistan. That's the word from President Obama tonight, speaking at West Point. He laid out his argument for sending 30,000 more troops to Afghanistan.
The president also described a 3-point strategy for bringing peace and security to that country: create conditions for a peaceful transition, provide a surge of civilians to reinforce positive action, and build an effective partnership with Pakistan to crack down on Taliban and al-Qaeda operatives. The president spoke directly to the Afghan people.
We have no interest in occupying your country, and we will seek a partnership with Afghanistan grounded in mutual respect, to isolate those who destroy, to strengthen those who build, to hasten the day when our troops will leave, and to forge a lasting friendship. But it will be clear to the Afghan government, and more importantly to the Afghan people, that they will ultimately be responsible for their own country.
He laid out an 18-month escalation plan, saying his timeline would signal that Afghans need to take over. Today, local veterans shared their opinions about more troops heading to Afghanistan.
I think Afghanistan is the right place to send the people at this time.
I feel it's a waste of money and lies. It's being fought basically the same way as Vietnam, and I think it's just another Vietnam.
The President said the operation comes with a $30 billion price tag. Thousands of U.S. troops already are overseas and will not be home for the holidays.
If you want to send some holiday cheer overseas, you better do it soon. KOMU 8's Chelsea Donahue reports on getting holiday packages to soldiers on time.
Thousands of troops won't be back for the holidays. The packages serve as welcome reminders of home.
The holidays are obviously a time when family matters, and it's doubly, triply so for those who need a reminder of what they're fighting for.
But that mail has a long way to go.
So it's very imperative that you get it there into the correct dates. We always have deadlines to make sure that the troops do get their packages by Christmas.
The post office makes it easier with priority flat rate boxes.
No matter what fits inside this, it ships. Whether it weighs 1 ounce or whether it weighs up to 70 pounds.
Among all the things friends and family send overseas, soldiers have favorites.
They love beef jerky and they love cigars.
And also gifts with a more personal touch.
Kids and adults alike send personal letters to these Marines, and a lot of them say that's their favorite part because they get to answer all these questions from all these children that write them.
Sending holiday packages reminds troops why they serve and why the rest of us have the freedom to celebrate. Chelsea Donahue, KOMU 8 News, Columbia.
For shipping deadline dates and links to the Department of Defense and U.S. Postal Service, visit KOMU.com. Well, imagine having to cut $60,000 from your budget.
As KOMU 8's Jenna Pike reports, that's what the Marys County Sheriff needs to do at a time when he also needs to expand his department.
In Sheriff Chris Heitman's department, positions are unfilled and volunteers man patrols because he can't afford to hire them.
We've already had a reduced amount of patrolling we do just to save on fuel.
On his wish list are protective vests for his officers, tasers, and cars with fewer than 100,000 miles on them. But he has to cut next year's budget by 10%.
We'll have to cut patrols even more. I'll have to find a way to, cut expenses in the jail. I'm going to try to find a way to cut food expenses.
He'll also lose one full-time employee January 1st.
It could be a more delayed response time.
Heitman says one option to solve the problem is to ask residents to pay a tax to help make up for losses from sales tax revenue.
Myself, it really wouldn't make any difference to me because when you come down to it, the amount they would want to increase doesn't really amount to that much. But for elderly people, it's a whole lot.
Obviously, if we don't have police, we can get into some trouble, so if the tax isn't too much, then yeah, I could foresee myself paying it if necessary.
Heitman says a tax is the last resort, but a very real one. Jenna Pike, KOMU 8 News, Vienna.
Despite the cuts, Heitman says the department will do its best to adjust and continue patrolling.
Well, the EPA will delay a decision on E15 into the middle of next year.
E15 is a blend of gasoline containing 15% ethanol. Right now, gasoline contains 10% ethanol, which is a corrosive. Critics fear increasing ethanol would cause damage to fuel lines and engines. The group Growth Energy proposed the increase to the EPA in March. Growth Energy says a delayed decision is a positive sign.
We take this as a glass half full that EPA has indicated we like what we see so far. We want to continue to evaluate it. We're not going to make a decision without good science, but we believe that's forthcoming.
Keeping your home warm can mean some high prices, but this winter might not break the bank.
The stigma may be fading, but on this World AIDS Day, the disease is still very dangerous. This is KOMU 8 News at 10, coverage you can count on. The National Weather Service Climate Prediction Center is forecasting a warmer than normal winter for the Midwest.
Not bad news. Well, you might not have to budget as much to keep your family warm this winter. As KOMU 8's Elise Pickle shows us, El Nino might be lending a helping hand this year.
Basically, El Nino is the periodic warming of the East Pacific tropical waters every 2 to 7 years, roughly. Typically, an El Nino brings the jet stream across the southern tier of our states.
El Nino is expected to be a dominant climate factor that will influence our winter weather December through February.
The upper Midwest tends to be very warm and dry, and that includes much of mid-Missouri. The southern half of Missouri and the southern United States tends to be on the cooler side and a little wetter than normal.
But because we are right in the middle, Lupo says we could get a snowy winter with El Nino, a lot like 2006. Remember that snowstorm? We got 16 inches of snow and ended up with 30 inches overall that winter. But in an El Nino winter, Lupo says precipitation is a toss-up in mid-Missouri.
It's really going to depend on the exact path of each storm as they come through. The storm track can be very sensitive to very small changes in distance.
Using climate statistics dating back to 1950 of previous El Nino years, the trend for Columbia winters is to have near or above normal temperatures. An average winter temperature is 33 degrees. But when warmer temperatures are predicted, it isn't necessarily going to mean a heat wave. But what does this mean to you and your wallet? Warmer winter temperatures might make it easier to heat your home. Even without El Nino, the Environmental Information Association already predicted that Midwest households will spend less money on heating costs this year. According to the EIA, Midwest households heating primarily with natural gas are expected to spend, on average, $147 or 15% less this winter. Winter weather taken into consideration or not, the 15% decline in natural gas expenditures reflects an 11% decrease in prices and a 4% decrease in consumption. Now 13% of Missourians heat their homes with propane. The EIA expects Midwest households heating primarily with propane to spend 21% less this winter. On the other hand, if you heat your house with electricity, you can expect to spend $20 less than you did last winter. This small change is due to a 2% decrease in prices and very little change in consumption.
A lot of people always think that El Nino automatically brings bad news, but a lot of times El Nino can bring good news, especially if it is warmer than normal. That's going to save you on your heating bills, and that's a good thing.
One thing we aren't sure of yet, because winter is just beginning. Elise Pickle, KOMU 8 News, Columbia.
The official start to winter is December 21st. Last month was the 9th warmest November on record, so that might be a good indicator of what's to come. Dave?
And the early part of December is going to be a little cooler than average. I'll show you how much cooler it's going to be tomorrow, next on KOMU 8 News at 10.
Now, your live Doppler 8 First Alert weather with Chief Weathercaster Dave Schmidt.
Good evening. 16 minutes after 10 o'clock. There's a look at our First Alert day track camera over Columbia today. It's been a beautiful day. Nice warm temperatures. 55 was the high, by the way. And you can see how the clouds began to roll in toward the latter part of the day. First of all, thin clouds, and now we're getting a little heavier concentration of clouds over mid-Missouri. And that's expected just ahead of that cold front that we're going to show you here in just a couple of minutes. But radar is clear. Live Doppler 8 First Alert radar. Nothing doing in our viewing area for 75 miles in any direction. 42 degrees is our present temperature. Humidity 53% of saturation. The winds are coming at you 7 miles per hour from generally the south-southwest, and that pattern is likely going to continue until that cold front moves through. Then we're going to get a wind shift to the northwest, of course, and that's where the cooler air will be coming from. It is 45 in St. Louis, 41 in the Kansas City area. Present temperature at the Lake of the Ozarks, 43. We're about 43 in Jefferson City as well. 40 up in Kirksville, and 35 in the Ozark Hills around Greene County, Missouri. Springfield. Here's the clouds. They come rolling in. Precipitation, though, is another question, and I'm kind of wondering now if we're going to get anything at all. I'll show you what I mean here in just a moment. Just one thing we will have and are getting now is the increasing cloudiness. Here's the cold front. That's going to quickly move through the area during the overnight hours, and we're going to probably see an early morning high temperature at about 42, 44 degrees, and then with that colder air sifting into the Mississippi Valley, it's going to be chilly. Excuse me. Temperatures will fall back into the 30s, probably in the mid to low 30s by tomorrow afternoon. Rain, will we get any? Well, if we get anything at all, it's going to be very, very slight. Here's what I mean. We ran the model just a little while ago, and it looks like we're going to completely get mist here in central Missouri. The closest thing we get is maybe just to the east of the Lake of the Ozarks. As you can see, most of the concentration of rain tomorrow afternoon will be in the southeastern section of Missouri. So the possibility of the rain, albeit slim, would be very light if we get anything at all. So it just doesn't look like much of an event. The big significant weather change is going to be the temperatures tomorrow afternoon and evening, and then for the rest of the extended forecast. Increasing cloudiness and cool tonight, according to our live Doppler rate. First alert forecast, 36 degrees for a low temperature. That's pretty typical of this time of the year, first or second day of December. Tomorrow, though, cloudy and colder, slight chance of a shower, maybe a flurry, and even that is doubtful. 44 for an early high, and then temperatures will fall during the afternoon hours. Then tomorrow night, 25 degrees as we roll into Thursday morning, but it'll be mostly cloudy with a northwesterly wind at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Now, the next 5 days look like this. Thursday, Friday, high temperatures will be much like our low temperatures have been. 34, 33 degrees. It might be a little warmer over the weekend. Saturday and Sunday with high temperatures approaching 40. So it's going to be a little cooler as we greet December with slightly below average temperatures. Here's a look at the rest of your live Doppler rate. First alert, 8-day forecast, and that's pretty normal weather for this time of the year. And that's the weather. It's 10:19. Now let's check out our Missouri lottery numbers. We hope you are a winner.
Well, Missourians held several events to mark World AIDS Day today, like the one on the MU campus. There, you could get tested and leave tribute to those affected. Public health officials saw 500 to 600 cases and new AIDS cases each year. Right now, 11,000 Missourians have HIV or AIDS.
It is interesting that most sexually active people, including adolescents that are making their decision about being sexually active, have now known about HIV their entire lives.
And to find out how to be tested, you can click on the links numbers section at our website. That's KOMU.com.
Meantime, advocates gathered in downtown Columbia to raise awareness about AIDS today. It was an effort to remember those who lost the battle with AIDS and those who continue to fight the disease. Organizations like Trail for the Cure hosted activities during the day. There was a candlelight vigil followed by a free concert at the Blue Note.
Missouri SAC leader sacks an award. This is KOMU 8 News at 10. Coverage you can count on.
Now, KOMU 8 Sports with Eric Blumberg.
Hey everyone, the Tiger basketball team needs to win on Wednesday night at Vanderbilt to avoid doing something they didn't do all last season, lose back-to-back games. The Tigers' first true road game of the season starts at 8:30 on ESPNU. Mizzou showing lots of depth through the first 5 games of the season. 8 different Tigers have scored in double figures. Missouri's bench averaging 40 points per game this season, outscored the starters in 3 of 5 contests. A former Missouri coach is happy to see the program's current success.
The thing that jumps out at me is what Mike Anderson did the first 2 years, not his third year. The third year was set up by the first 2 when he laid the foundation for what was going to happen. And he made it happen quicker than anybody, I think, could expect, even himself.
Now, I caught up with Norm while he was promoting the Norm Stewart Classic. The event includes 8 games featuring 16 Missouri high school basketball teams. It's on Saturday and Sunday at Columbia College. It's all part of a fundraiser for the Coaches vs. Cancer Foundation. Coach Stewart, well, he helped start the organization after he won his own battle with cancer. The organization's raised more than $50 million.
Not only the fighter, but how he's turned a negative, so to speak, how people would take that into a positive, starting Coaches versus Cancer, and what that's blown up into, and it's a great cause.
You know, probably one of the most profound people in the state of Missouri, and Norm Stewart, and for our athletes, our fans, and our coaches to be a part of an event such as this is just tremendous, and real excited about it.
Some high school hoops tonight. First game of the season for Centralia and North Callaway. They decided to start it out with a doubleheader. We'll pick it up with the guys' game. And in the first quarter, North Callaway's Keaton A-Strike. He's going to drive and score. Makes it, oh, nice shot. Kind of a hook. 11-7 at that point. Callaway with the lead. Later in the quarter, Centralia's Holden Myers. They can't hold Holden down. He gets the steal and the lay-in. Makes it a one-point contest. But just before the end of the quarter, Jared Graves, the buzzer beater jumper, North Callaway gets the win, 66-59. Same place, same schools, different gender. We'll go to the ladies now. In the third quarter, North Callaway down 7, but Lady Thunderbird Jordan Gray with a steal and the layup makes it a 5-point game. And in the fourth quarter, Centralia's Caitlin Jerome, she gets the lay-in on the inside. Centralia up by 10. Then Jerome leads all scorers in this game with 14. Here you see her put another one up. Centralia gets the 48-37 victory. Postseason awards week for the Big 12, and for the first time since 1998, Missouri has the Conference Defensive Freshman of the Year. And it's fitting for defensive end Alden Smith. After all, his 11 sacks this season ties Justin Smith, the guy who won the award in 1998, for the Missouri single-season record. Alden also has 18 tackles for loss. Both numbers lead all freshmen in the country. 3 Tigers earned first-team All-Big 12 honors, according to the coach's vote. No surprise, Denario Alexander's a first-teamer. Leads the nation with more than 1,600 yards receiving, yards, and 107 catches. They set new Mizzou records, throwing 13 touchdowns. That equals the team record. Linebacker Sean Weatherspoon, he's a first-teamer for the second straight season. 101 tackles this year. Total ranks 3rd in the Big 12. He's a Butkus Award finalist for the best linebacker in the country. And Grant Russell, he pinned, get it, Russell pinned the first-team kicker award. Russell leads the nation in field goal accuracy, made 24 out of 25 kicks, 4 of them against Kansas. This one, that will put him down in Missouri history. Columbia College starting pool play in the NAIA Volleyball National Tournament, lost to unseeded Lee in straight sets, 18-14 and 22. First time CC's been swept all season. They still have 2 more pool play matches. And check out this hockey incident from last night. Florida Panthers defenseman Keith Ballard, mad about giving up the goal, swings his stick and hits his own goalie in the head. He meant to hit the goal post, but instead takes out his goalie, Tomas Volkun. The team had to take Volkun off on a stretcher. Gosh, if you can't have teammates having your back, who can you have? We'll be back with more after a break.
Hey, welcome back. Here's another look at our live Doppler rate. First alert forecast. Looks like a chance of rain tomorrow, but the big story tomorrow is going to be dropping afternoon temperatures. I wouldn't worry too much about the rain as we have some colder weather coming up.
See you tomorrow.